Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Welcome to the Frank Skinner podcast, Absolute Radio, etc. I tell you what, it's earlier in the morning than we normally do this. You might be able to hear it in my throat.
It's so early. Take a fisherman's friend for that.
No, they're nasty. And I don't want to eat them at this time of the morning. I'd just be sick. The reason, what we normally do, foolishly in many ways, is we do the intro to the podcast. Am I right, Gareth?
Yes.
We do it after.
We do it after, but this time we're doing it earlier. We're doing it before.
Because the producer's got to go to a wedding, so the whole system has to change.
Yeah.
But we don't mind doing that.
There's a sense of mystery. Usually we know what's happened.
Well, what I like about it is we don't have to lie, because sometimes the show's been awful, and we've had to say it's great, and the guests have been hateful some weeks.
And we've all got tears streaming down our faces.
Exactly.
But we have to try and sing, put a brave face on.
Oh, Emily's covered in mascara and But this week we don't know. But I got a good feeling about it. If that helps.
We're all kind of virginal and hopeful. I like it. It's a good look.
Oh God, you've got a good memory. So we're going to listen to this as well, because obviously not. If we could listen to it now, life would indeed be a strange thing, wouldn't it? But I cannot. Here's hoping. Fingers crossed. The guest is Ross Noble. That's a good sign. Apart from that, we can't promise anything.
Absolute Radio.
Welcome. This is the Frank Skinner Absolute Radio Show. See me struggling to remember what it was.
Is that what it's called? We never know what it's called.
It doesn't have a name.
No.
No, it's like the cat in Breakfast at Tiffany's. It has no name. I think that's the only time it's ever been compared to the cat in Breakfast at Tiffany's, but there may be other comparisons. It's not feline in any way, nor does the show ever use its whiskers to judge width. But anyway, I'm here with Emily and Gareth.
Hello.
Who both look very lovely this morning. And we all went for a bit of a night out last night. We went and saw Ross Noble's comedy show. And Ross Noble, as it turns out, is our guest today.
Ooh.
We called to him from the upper circle. Why don't you come on the show tomorrow? And he went, well, I would do it. Might even do that. I will come down on there. And that was all sorted.
Fine, you may have called from the upper circle. Gareth and I called from the stalls, shouted from the stalls.
Yeah, well, the stalls is better. I was at the front row of the upper circle, which is like being a Roman emperor. I was right in the middle of the upper circle, which sounds like a line from Dante, but it's a bit early for Dante, isn't it, on Absolute Radio at this time of the morning. So I've had the most bone-idle, lazy week I've had for many a long... when I was a kid, we used to say occasionally, why don't you come round my house tomorrow and we'll have a DOS, right? And having a DOS meant we'll do nothing. And we actually made an appointment to do nothing. Come round our house. We can get to so-and-so in the morning, but on the afternoon we'll just have a DOS. And just meant we sat around and did nothing. That's what I've done all week. I've just had a DOS.
Absolutely. What have you done, like watch telly and things?
Yeah, I've got a beanbag, a corduroy beanbag. A massive corduroy beanbag I've got. I'm not bragging. And I lay on that for some of it. I did other things, but mainly I lay on that and watch daytime television and films, football, cricket. Oh, man.
Did you find yourself getting very into daytime TV as well? Like agreeing with Lorraine Kelly?
I got very into corduroy. It was like, when you rub your fingertips together after a very long bath. That's what corduroy is like, I've discovered.
So you used to arrange to do nothing?
Yeah.
Because isn't nothing just the default state? Isn't nothing what you're doing before you do something?
Well, I'm liking the way this is going. I'm not totally with him, but I'm liking the way it's going. Because there's too much stuff on radio about, I see my daughter as a doll. There's too much like that. I like people about talking about nothing.
Default state?
Actually, they talk about nothing quite a lot on radio, come to think of it, but never in this kind of high-blown, philosophical way. I'll give you an example of my nothingness. Okay. I watched This Morning, right? And they had the world's tallest man on, who's been everywhere this week. I mean, he's
very ubiquitous.
Oh, he is, yes. I think he's Hungarian. But he was on. He's 8'8", apparently, which is just...
That's very tall.
It's ridiculous. And they didn't even point out his ridiculousness. But he's a very tall Hungarian man. And they said they had him on, and they did the thing, they made him stand next to a tape measure. He spends his whole life standing next to a measure. He's like he's someone from The Usual Suspects. Obviously, he'd be a very unusual suspect. I think a life of crime's not an option for the world's tallest man.
No.
Can you describe him? Yeah, he's about 8'8". I think we've got him. So anyway, he's
They're
also...
always a bit odd-looking, really tall people.
Oh, yeah, he was terrifying, I'll be honest. He's also got the world's biggest hands and the world's biggest feet. Luckily. You don't want tiny size
Tiny
fours.
little hands.
Oh, no, he'd
and
look like a
tiny
javelin.
little feet
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
balance on.
But anyway, this is what they asked him. They asked him...
Oh, this is Phil Schofield in the new one.
Yes, and Holly, but he doesn't let her get a word in yet. I think he's marking his territory. I saw him urinating in each corner of the studio. Anyway, he in that way he's very like the cat from Breakfast at Tiffany's. So anyway, he asked him if he had trouble getting clothes. And I thought,
it's a bit pedestrian.
People always ask the world's tallest man. So our phone-in this morning is really unusual questions that the world's tallest man has never been asked before. So that's it. And if you get a really good one, we'll pass it on to him. Don't bother sending them in Hungarian. We'll do the translation. I'm not even sure that's a language. Sounds like it hadn't ought to be. But let's face it, there hadn't ought to be any other languages.
Absolute Radio.
So, so question... We just thought it's terrible being the world's tallest man as it is, without being asked the same questions about what you do for clothes and...
Well, I've got one,
Go on.
but he might have been asked it before, but I genuinely want to know the answer, which is what does he do about transport? So in the car, does he have to have a sunroof and stick his head out like a sort of Doberman Pinscher or something?
Do Doberman Pinschers do that? I'm thinking more the Pope Pinscher. Yeah, I know what a Doberman Pinscher is. How dare you? How dare you suggest I don't know that?
Or does he have like a Flintstone trap door thing underneath for his feet? Because he can't fit in.
You know, you couldn't get him into a car.
No.
I shouldn't think... No, I shouldn't.
Well, he might have a customised one.
No, you couldn't have a... Oh, what about those stretch limos?
Oh, that'd be good.
You could
That's
have
a
one
brilliant
of that.
idea.
Yeah. Just chuck out all the drunken women and put the world's biggest
And the
man in.
decanters, the grubby decanters.
Yeah, the horrible decanters and the TV screens that never work. And put in the world's longest man, I went to call him then, which I like better. That'd be a good question. Would you prefer to be known as the world's longest man?
It depends if he's lying down, doesn't it?
I don't think it matters.
You don't think?
What, you think it depends on verticality or horizontality?
Yeah, if you were going to call something long. But maybe trousers are long, aren't they?
You can have long hair, it doesn't have to be lying down, do you?
That's true.
See, already I've blown that completely out the water. I would like to know if anyone sees him in a restaurant or something, do they always ask him to stand up? Because you'd be really miffed if you saw the world's tallest man who was sitting down. You go and say, I'll just stand up just for a minute. Because he's on sticks, the world's tallest man. Yeah. I mean, that's not why he's the world's tallest man. I don't mean he's on sticks.
Still.
No, it's not one of those, like, one of those houses that rise above the paddy fields in China. He's on walking sticks, so he's not that well. I don't think. That'd be another question. What's wrong with you?
Dear world's tallest man, what's your problem?
Oi! I say! What's wrong with you? That's what I'd ask
My
him.
question for the world's tallest man, I've lost my mate Ian, can you see him from up there?
Is that your question or someone
That's a
sent
good
that
one.
in?
No, that's me.
Oh, that's good. Have you lost your mate Ian?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, I don't know where he is.
Okay. I was a terrible feeling your mate Ian had died this week. And you had this primitive sense that heaven was somewhere up above the clouds.
Well, no, I'm not saying, or that the world's tallest man is also a medium. And
I don't know, he's definitely an extra large.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Our phone in this morning is, what would you ask the world's tallest man that he hasn't been asked before?
That's quite a weird... I like that it's so weird. I phoned in this morning.
No, I think I'd be so sick of being asked if I had problems getting clothes. Also, if I was the world's tallest man, I'd say no. No, not at all. I'll just go into a Gap. It's fine. By the way, our text number, which I haven't said yet, is 8 12 15. I'm just assuming that you're all such regular listeners that you know. Have we had any in yet?
We've had a good one from the rather romantically named Jonah of Leominster.
Oh, I like that.
Sounds quite papal. I like that.
Yeah. Sounds like a carpet to me.
When at Xmas, if the tallest man is asked for a kiss under the mistletoe, does it have to stay up the tree?
Oh, good. Yeah, yes, it does grow quite a height, mistletoe. Doesn't have to be good.
You have to be under the mistletoe, don't you?
Yeah, well, I imagine he hangs around in forests a lot come Yuletide. Apparently he's desperately lonely on the woman front. That was one of the things.
Well, why didn't you tell me? We'd be perfect.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I could go in his little pocket.
Well, you've got some heels, but you'd have to really go... Yeah, but apparently he doesn't have a girlfriend. I don't think he's ever had a girlfriend.
Yes, he says he's never had a girlfriend, and hopefully now that I'm famous I'll be able to meet lots of girls. I'd like to get married.
I'll marry him. I don't mind.
No, don't commit like that on air.
Okay.
Just a minute, I'm going to do something.
Saturday morning!
I've done that for a bit. Just wanted to do that. In case I didn't just suddenly grab Gareth and make him do that. That's a recorded jingle that we have. But that was... Yeah, I poor old him. Oh, by the way, he's Turkish. I've been calling him Hungarian this morning.
Oh.
And Deb's
I love your response to that. Oh. As if he doesn't have enough problems. He's been called the wrong nationality and a poor soul.
Deb says, has the world's tallest man ever been potholing?
He asked me if he'd ever been potholing.
Yes.
Yeah, I imagine he could pothole in like an earthworm. So he could go through a series of labyrinths and come out in various parts of him would come out in various holes into the air.
But he may not be the world's tallest man.
What? How dare
you!
Well, that's what you could ask him. Are you the world's tallest man? No, really.
Because it says that he's been crowned the world's tallest man after his...
I bet the crowning was a tricky business. What did they use? Some sort of a crane?
No, it's kind of like hoopla.
Cherry picker.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like hoopla. They had a big load of crowns. Everyone had a go trying to get it on his head.
Well, he must have been covered in bruises at the end of it, because that Diamante can scratch.
Yeah, it's quite sharp.
Yes, I once had a brief affair with Liberace. I'm not kidding you. The next day I looked like I'd been tiger wrestling.
He was crowned world tallest man after his Ukrainian rival dropped out of the running because he refused to be measured.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a work to rule.
Yeah, he didn't want the fame. He didn't want the hassle.
He
of being
refused to be measured.
Yeah.
How often does one get the chance to get on your moral high horse about whether or not you're measured?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so he might not be the world's tallest. Oh well.
No. The guy who didn't want to be measured said, if I had to choose between prosperity and calm, I choose calm.
Well, he's a good tall man.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he's much better than whinging on about not having a girlfriend.
He's like a big, tall source of wisdom.
He is, yeah.
That's what you want from the world's tallest man.
He deserves a coronation of some kind.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a very good text in about the world's tallest man, which is from Richard in Derby, who says, I have a question for the tallest man. Who do you look up to? I love it.
Oh, it's the little things in life, which I imagine the world's tallest man doesn't say. If you want to text us on questions that the world's tallest man has never been asked before, we're on 8, 12, 15, I think.
Now, guess what, guys? I've got the builders in this week. So something...
Slightly embarrassed.
I genuinely have got them in.
Okay.
So they're painting
what
outside of my house.
My apartment?
Well, no, it's my apartment's on the second floor.
Okay.
So I keep forgetting they're there, and they're on the scaffolding, and 3 mornings in a row now I flash them. Inadvertently, I flash them.
Inadvertently?
Yeah, inadvertently. I didn't do it on purpose.
Well, what has been without going into too much detail, how does that actually happen? You open the curtains in a state of undress?
Yeah, and they didn't look pleased enough, to be honest with you. They didn't look excited.
No.
The first day I had...
I was trying to work out a response so that was safe. Couldn't really come... In the end, I think I didn't sound surprised enough. No, well, nor would they. Next. Okay.
The first day I had on tights and a bra, which isn't too bad.
Well, I did just that.
Yeah. Is that all right?
I'm not happy with it, I'll be honest with you. Tights and a bra. Yeah. Oh, no.
And then I had
the next
on
day?
a Hello Kitty bathrobe.
That's better, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird that it's Hello Kitty, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, Hello Builders would have been better. Can you get a Hello Builders bathrobe? Well, that's our phone in next week sorted. Can you get a Hello Bill? And on the third day, you rested.
No, I had on quite see-through silk pyjamas, which is what I often wear to bed.
It's hot in here, isn't it, Gareth?
So by the third day, when you knew there were builders looking in,
by then you were making an effort.
Yeah.
You see, you're a sort. I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but
You're a
you're the sort of woman I imagine is no stranger to a negligee.
Oh, I love a negligee, Frank.
Yeah, I imagine you'd dress a bit like the women in Confessions of a Plumber. They used to come
Very
to the bar
much
in a
like
negligee.
that, yeah,
Well, it
very
sounds
much
like a
like
very
that.
Confessions of a Builder. This could be.
Yeah, I'm hoping
Though,
so.
obviously, the Confessions of a Builder would be a grim tale of exploitation and shoddy workmanship. But I suppose there'd be a bit of sex in it. Probably.
So what do you guys wear if you think it's so weird to wear a
What, when the
negligee?
builders are outside? Well, I just wear a crushed velvet cat suit split to the waist. When I say cat suit, nothing like the one worn by the cat in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Let me make that point. No, in bed, I always wear a T-shirt in bed.
Do you? What sort of,
can't-
like
I
an old
can't
fall
sleep.
T-shirt with an egg stain, maybe?
Yeah, I have worn a fall T-shirt in bed. Sometimes I wear the West Bromwich Albion replica football shirt in bed. But you can get quite a lot of static electricity during the night because of its nylonness. But I can't sleep naked. My shoulders get cold.
What do you not? Just a T-shirt?
Just a T-shirt. It's a horrible thought, I know.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bit like a very sort of casual Top Cat image. You know, Top Cat used to wear a hat and a waistcoat.
Yeah.
That was it. Nothing like the cat in Breakfast.
What do you wear, Gareth?
I wear boxer shorts and baggy boxer
When you say
shorts.
boxer shorts, you mean large silk shorts that
Yeah,
say
silk
things
and
like
shorts with-
Iron Man Gareth on them.
Yeah.
And Everlast.
With, the big G.
Yeah, you just wear boxer shorts. That's all.
No, like baggy boxer shorts, but I don't wear baggy
I imagine
shorts.
you in a shorty kimono about the house in the morning.
A sort of Hugh Hefner
Yeah,
thing,
exactly.
And a white T-shirt. A
Oh,
white
God, you
vest. A white vest.
That's
You wear quite a lot.
That sounds a bit Prison Break.
Okay.
Not a wife beater.
So, but you normally wear silk pyjamas,
Oh, yeah, see-through.
see-through silk
Yeah.
pyjamas.
What's the point of? I guess you get the benefits of the warmth and something against your body, but also that people can see through it.
Yes.
Sorry, I was lost there.
I'm going to now pay a tribute to the great Bob Monkhouse, who told a great joke. I remember saying that as he got older, his wife still wore a see-through nightie, but now it was bifocal. Fantastic.
Absolute
Radio.
We were asking for unusual questions for the world's tallest man on our text, which is 81215. Speaking of famous people, I was walking along the Thames, the River Thames, the other day.
The side of the Thames or over the
I wasn't
water?
walking, no, I
Right.
wasn't, no. I mean, I know you're a great admirer of mine, but I cannot do that. And I saw there was a film crew. There's always film crews in London. If anyone who lives outside of London, if you see a film crew, you think it's an exciting event. Londoners tend to go, ugh, it's another film crew in it, and no mistaking, Mr. Holmes, right? And so I walked past and I thought, well, there might be a celebrity here. It's usually Alexa Chung for some reason. Whenever I see filming anywhere in London, it's Alexa Chung. She must be endlessly
I always find
filming.
it's Chris Akabusi.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I often see him. I have seen him about twice being filmed.
Do you ever see Femi Oki?
No.
No, I think she's moved to America. I heard a story about Femi Oki that she did something like a 6-week course at the meteorological office so she could become a weather reader. And then when she filled in her visa to move to America, when it says occupation, she wrote scientist.
That's pushing it, love.
Yeah, if you're listening, Femi, I have no verification for that story. Okay, actually, I think, yes, I'm not going to say who told me because it was her ex-husband.
Oh.
No, in a
Oh, the
way I
plot
have. In a way
thickens.
I have told you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm walking past, and who was sitting on a chair? Who was sitting on a chair waiting to be filmed next to the film crew? Robert Vaughan,
Oh, the man from Uncle.
the man from Uncle. I mean, and the man from Uncle was far and away my favourite programme when I was a kid. I had an Uncle suitcase.
Oh,
Which was, it
Frank.
opened up and it had like an Uncle gun in it and the badges and all that. And also he was in the Magnificent Seven, which is probably one of my favourite films ever. But I never really thought, I thought, oh, there's Robert Vaughan. And I got 100 yards down the bank of the river there, walking along, and I thought, oh, I really would have liked to have said hello to Robert Vaughan.
Why
And
didn't
shook
you?
his hand.
You just...
You know that kind of, you bottle it a bit in those, you see a celebrity and you think, I'd love to say hello to them, and I bottle it all the time. And now I just that moment to have shook hands with the man from Uncle and the bloke from Magnificent Seven. So
You missed out.
I'm burnt up with regret, I'll be honest with you.
It's like when Shaquille O'Neal chatted me up and I didn't go back with him.
Did you not?
No. Well, I would have told you if I had. I wouldn't have kept that to myself.
She's very tall, isn't it?
He is. He's about 7'7". This was about 12 years ago, so he was single at the time, I should add, because I believe he's married now.
Yes.
But
Is
yeah.
that- you were chatting up
Yeah.
by...
A bouncer came over to me, and then I was at some party, and then Shaquille O'Neal.
Bouncer.
Yeah.
Oh, he likes a basket.
He gets someone to do it for him. And I thought about it, and I thought, well, he might crush me or something. He was too big. So I said no.
Yeah. Well, that's a fancy that. You turned down Shaquille
I
O'Neal.
did, yeah.
Brilliant. So do you look back on that as a missed opportunity?
Oh, hell yeah.
I only wanted to shake hands with Robert Vaughan, and I'm upset. So imagine if I'd had the chance to have a physical relationship with a famous
He
basketball
might have
player.
asked you back. Well, Robert Vaughan. If you'd have chatted to Robert Vaughan, who knows where it would have gone?
Well, yeah, exactly. He could be on here now. Is there anyone you've ever thought, I wish I had that
When
celebrity?
we went to the Sony Awards, and Simon Mayo and Mark Kermode were there, and I listened to their show, and I really like it, and I really wish I went to talk to them.
So your big regret is that you didn't talk to Simon Mayo and Mark Kermode.
Yeah,
You're just stupid.
Absolute.
Radio.
my mum is funny. She did something. She told me a story this week that really made me laugh. She works at the job centre. And
Does she? I didn't know that.
she works in the job centre. She was talking to the psychologist in the job centre that talks to people about why they might not. And so she said, my mum said that when she was talking to the psychologist, she was trying to act really sane.
Yeah.
Which you do if you would talk to a psychologist.
As a general.
But she has reading glasses, and usually she has them on a little chain. So she's got very used to, having that chain. But on this occasion, she didn't have the chain on, but she thought she did. So she said, as she was talking, she'd had the whole conversation with the psychologist, and then at the end, just sort of threw the glasses off her face.
In the general direction of the psychologist.
Onto the floor.
Yeah, I'm wearing disposables today. Wow,
Just
that
like-
must have terrified him.
Oh no, I normally wear a chain. I normally wear a chain on them.
And also a good thing if you want people to think you're not mad is to shout, I normally wear a chain. I should think he's thinking, yeah, you should be wearing a chain, madam. That's fabulous. Did they break
that was really
the
good.
glasses?
No,
well,
I
at
think
least there's a happy ending to that story, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to. I remember going to the what we used to call the outdoor when I was a kid, which was like the nearby off licence, and we took our whippets. Me and my dad took our whippet there. And
I love that you had a whippet.
oh yeah, and as we walked into the shop, the bloke behind the counter said evening, and then he suddenly looked absolutely terrified. And what happened is the whippet had slipped the collar just before we'd gone into the shop, so the old man had walked in with an empty collar and lead, and the bloke had just assumed it was some lunatic. He'd probably kidnapped a local child and taken an invisible dog for a walk. Oh, those were the days.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Back for the second hour, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it like this.
Extraordinary.
I have bursts of excitement to catch. Do you not
I
get
know
that?
you do.
My girlfriend says I've got too much serotonin.
You're like a Labrador puppy.
Sarah
you get
who?
all excited.
No,
when you
you're,
start
I'm
running
like a
around.
Labrador puppy in that I'm often covered in toilet paper.
There's a really sweet... You know, we were talking about when you ran into someone famous and it was a missed opportunity. There's
Yes.
a really sweet text we just had in saying, I wish I'd spoken to you, Frank, when I saw you on the Paris Eurostar a couple of months ago. Sarah from Eastcote.
Oh, well, you see, that could have been a lovely friendship.
I know. What were you doing on the Paris Eurostar?
I was filming for Children in Need.
Oh,
It
okay.
sounded like it was some sort of murder. And what were you doing? I suppose you're wondering why I've brought you all here. What were you doing on the Paris Eurostar? Well, it was a simple business trip. Oh, simple, was it? I'm sorry, that one. We accidentally got Radio 4 drama on there. Yes. Anyone else texted us on 8, 12, 15? You see what I did there? Because
I did.
I told they gave the number without making it an obvious giving the number thing.
There's a nice text from someone called Teresa who says, Morning all, I grew up in the Midlands and you're taking me back to my childhood with words like DOS, outdoor and whippet. Thanks for that.
Slightly tragic is the outdoor is what we used to call an off licence. And I'll tell you something we used to see middle-aged working class women walking back from the outdoor with a jug, with their hand over the top of the jug, gone to get beer from the outdoor in a big
Well,
jug.
they just gave you alcohol in a jug.
In a jug. Well, you had to take your own jug.
Oh.
Yeah, all the middle-aged women in the West Midlands had big jogs.
Frank.
What?
Oh my God!
What? No, they did. They used to take a jog up to the off
That
licence.
would be very good for the environment, wouldn't it? If we did that sort of thing more nowadays.
Yeah, if we just took jogs to the shops
Yeah.
and said put some butter in there.
Tupperware.
Yeah, you're
Just-
right.
Yeah.
I used to, when I was an alcoholic. Not that I haven't stopped being an alcoholic, but I don't enjoy it like I used to. I used to queue up for what they call loose sherry.
Loose sherry.
And loose sherry is in the grocer's shop. It's in a big plastic barrel behind the counter, and you take your own bottle, and they fill. And it used to be me.
Shut up! I don't believe that.
It's
What-
true.
Really?
So I'd get there about 8:30 in the morning. They opened at 9, but I like my place in the queue. There'd be about 6 alcoholics queuing up with various receptacles. And I got away with taking an Alpine pop bottle, which was actually 2 pints. And it was ages before the man who owned the shop worked out that I was getting twice my load on the sherry front. If he's listening, I'd like to thank you for that, for pushing me finally over the brink till I thought sherry's not working anymore, I'm going to try Pernod. Anyway, I don't know if this is the context for talking about the grim life of the alcoholic.
I like the idea of the differing receptacles, though, for the alcohol. I wonder what the world's tallest man would have if he was to.
I imagine he'd take a yard of ale. I imagine he regularly drinks out of a yard of ale. Did we get another good text? Our phone in this morning is questions you'd like to ask the world's tallest man that he hasn't been asked before.
Yeah.
What was the swimming pool one? I really like that.
Oh, yeah. Can you talk amongst yourselves while I find it, please?
Whitey.
Whitey's question for the world's tallest man is why the long face?
Okay, thanks, Whitey. You can tell by his nickname, Whitey, he's a bit of a character, am I right?
I know.
He's a legend.
Or maybe he's anemic.
This is
Bring that up.
This is a good question, but he's remained anonymous, which he or she shouldn't, because it's a good question for the world's tallest man. Have you ever walked from the shallow end of a swimming pool to the deep end with a small amount of pride?
I wonder if he would.
Love it.
Yeah, I wonder if he would even need to go. You know, the awkward bit where you have to get your crotch in. Maybe you wouldn't even have to do that when you go swimming.
What's happened now is you've said crotch on
Crotch
Morning
is
Radio.
fine.
The only way I
Crotch
think.
not okay?
Yeah, but you know he's got a crotch as well. This is obviously a bit of wordplay, and you brought up his disability. You've made a slightly rude joke. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Only one thing can turn this round. Do you know what that is?
The fall.
It is the fall. You've guessed it.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Ross Noble's in
Hello.
the studio. Good morning.
Hi.
We all went to your show last night as a bit of a works outing.
Oh, nice.
We
Yeah,
laughed.
we had a
well,
brilliant time.
I laughed. I couldn't sit there. We were in separate. I was in the upper circle.
Oh,
they
you
were in-
moved
We were
away,
in
did
the
you?
stalls.
I see.
No, we just had separate seats. They're very good seats, and thank you for that. We didn't pay, in case you didn't know.
No, that's quite all right.
I hope you haven't come in to collect.
I was doing the ice creams at interval. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know.
I went for Smarties last night.
Oh, did you?
I have to say, if anyone's going to see Ross Noble, who is on at the Apollo Theatre in Shaftesbury Avenue
Thank you
at
very
8
much.
o'clock every evening, till when, Ross?
For 6 weeks.
Yeah. I bought some Smarties. I don't want a product play. I know product placement's acceptable nowadays, but I bought some Smarties, right? And a
Yeah.
box, quite a big box, and I thought this is
Right.
going to be a £5. £2.
Oh, that's a bargain.
Yeah,
Grand.
I subsidise that.
Did you
yeah, I
really?
said that.
Well, you're doing a
I
great
said
job.
there's going to be a lot of people from the Midlands complaining about the high price of confectionery. I'm going to personally subsidise that myself.
Well, you made
Yeah.
my night. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that. I was so... Because one expects, things to be...
You do, don't you?
Hyped up is the word I'm
Exactly.
after.
Yeah,
Hyped
yeah.
up. But no, that was brilliant. So,
Thanks. I'm glad you like the show. Everyone else is what I got.
No,
out.
I love
what
that, but-
what a top night.
Anyway,
Skinner's there, very loudly pontificating about snacks. Smarties, cheap. Billy Elliot, £4.
I'm just throwing in. I'm throwing in all the pluses. Is what I'm doing. It's a funny show.
And the seats are lovely and velvety.
That they
You
are.
know, if you've got, you can rub your hands down the back of them. If
I
you
wouldn't
want
do
to.
that.
No, not down the back.
No, you never know. What
Oh
you're
no,
gonna-
but they're theatre seats. That's the theatre seats fold down like that, so you can't reach down to get the change out of them.
yes,
That's why they were designed like that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You liar, Ross
Yeah.
Noble.
I do quite well.
I completely fell for that.
Yeah.
So let's make this absolutely clear. That's where you're on. You're on in
Yeah.
your show, which is called Things.
Things, yeah.
And it's on at the Apollo Theatre in Shaftesbury Avenue, which in London, which is a large conurbation in the southeast of England.
Yes.
For those of you listening outdoors, and now, can I start by saying,
Go on.
You've got a very big thing on stage. With
I
you,
have. Yes, it's a large inflatable thing.
which you barely referred to.
No, I
You only
don't.
referred to because
Yeah.
someone else asked about it.
Yeah, no, and I try not to. Yeah.
Now, how can we describe this for our... We'll let Ross describe
Well, it's a tortoise-bodied, lobster-clawed, dinosaur leg, tentacle, four-headed, winged Ross beast is what it is.
It's got 4 heads that are all your heads.
Yeah, it's got massive wings. It's sort of like, I'm a big fan of like rock. I like that whole sort of, yeah. And you know, Iron Maiden
You
had
don't
that.
mean rock as in the stuff you buy at the seaside?
I do. That's
You do
exactly
mean
what
that?
I mean. Yeah.
And how much are you charging
I'm
for that?
only
at the
charging
moment?
£1.
Well, that's good.
Fully subsidised.
That's good.
For people, but only from the Midlands. Yeah, just see when I play Wolverhampton.
Have you got a special machine that checks accents and a reading comes up on a digital screen?
Did you? Wouldn't that be great?
West Bromwich.
Like a
West Bromwich, that'd be £2, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
An alarm goes off when that comes
Where
up.
are you from? Home county's 15. Gosh. The poster for the show is designed by it was done by Derek Riggs that did all the Iron Maiden artwork.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because initially I said, I'd quite like it in a sort of Iron Maiden style, and then they organised the actual guy, and so the set is kind of based on that. But I'm a big fan of having like enormous, big, daft things and then just not mentioning it. Like, I did a show in Edinburgh once, I called it Chicken Master, and it had nothing to do with chickens. It was just a daft name, and I had this enormous Gothic castle built that was in the shape of a chicken, and it lit up and all the rest of it. I just walked out and hung me coat on it, and I didn't mention it for the whole show. I just like stuff like that, you know?
I once saw a sort of mainstream comic in the West Midlands who came on stage with an enormous pair of antlers on his head, which he never referred to, 20 minutes never referred to. Then right at the end he said, "Do you think I've got too much moose on this?" Which made my night.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's a difficult thing. Because I should point out that this monster on the behind Ross is 20 feet high, isn't it?
Yeah, it's enormous. It's an enormous thing.
How do you get it
You weren't
about?
concentrating on the show at all.
Don't put a 20-foot four-headed monster behind you and then reprimand me for noticing it.
How do I what?
How do you transport it? Does it deflate?
It does, yeah.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, it backs. But I'm there for 6 weeks, so it doesn't need to be deflated and inflated a lot.
So you had to bring it from... Did you use that in Australia as well?
I used it on tour. I did like 85 dates. And yeah, toured it around. Then my last tour, I had a giant, same size, but it was a massive version of me at the back of the stage with a big head, with a face projected that actually talked at the start of the show.
Do you think you'll ever think at the start of a tour, I don't know if I'm going to bother with the big giant?
No, that's all, I love that. That's
what you're doing.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about it. Why have a job where you can, have an enormous thing and then not have it?
Yes. Well, I often think that. What happens to them post-tour? They in your house?
Yeah, well, they were, but my house burned down, so they were all in the shed.
Oh,
He said that last night. He hasn't got a house now.
I feel
So no,
bad.
one of them said the big me is actually in a storage unit in West London, which I love the idea of somebody breaking in late at night and accidentally hitting the inflatable thing, and just this enormous hippie just goes and points at them. Yeah.
I'm going to have some adverts now, because if there's any children listening, they're going to be quite frightened by that.
Absolute
Radio.
What do you think about this?
Saturday morning, who's gonna play with me?
That would be the Eels, wouldn't it?
It is, yeah.
Eels.
It's
Not
just
the
Eels, yeah,
I always
exactly.
make that mistake.
I thought that was Gareth, and I thought he sounded brilliant for a minute.
I'm trying it out as a jingle, but I'm wondering if it's a bit too long. What do you think? What do you think, Ross?
I'll tell you what,
As an
speaking of
outsider.
jingles and Coldplay, I went to see a baseball game, and you know how in baseball they all have, it's not like the football and that where they just play, it's like it stops and it starts. Every time a guy come up to do the batting, they had a little song, like each one had the song, and he'd chosen Coldplay. I can't remember what the song is, but it's that one that goes, I used to rule the world. But it was just that bit of the song.
Okay.
And like he obviously liked the bit that went din 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 din, because that's quite uplifting as he goes to.
Yeah.
But they'd selected the wrong bit, so every time he went to bat, it went, I used to rule the world, and then it stopped. So he just looked like a dismal failure before he'd started.
Yeah, someone who was at the absolute top
I was
of
at
their
the top,
profession.
and I'll give it a go now. I might be able to hit the button. It was,
Oh, no.
it was mad.
People saying, I don't like this guy, he's too nostalgic.
Exactly.
There used to be a batter called Albert Bell. Do you remember him? Who played for the Cleveland Indians. He's an massive bloke. And when he came out, because he was called Albert Bell, he used to have like a church bell from a horror film. And go, it was terrifying.
But was that was proper old days? Was it before electronical music?
Oh, well, no, I think it was a tape of a bell.
Oh, okay.
No, there
They
wasn't
didn't have
some
a full-
hunchbacked character in a habit swinging. Well, there may have been. I didn't see him. I assume it was a tape. So,
It's a swinging hunchback.
I love a swinging hunchback. You remember that's an old fairground game. You get an air rifle, then they swing. Anyway, so you've got a TV show.
I do have a TV show coming out, yes.
What's that? What's
It's,
that like? What's that like?
Oh, good Lord. What happened there? Did Ant and Dec possess your body? You were overtaken.
I'd say it was 70% Ant, 3% Deck.
Yeah.
It's a version of The Fly. You know, The Fly with
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Ant.
Yeah.
70% Ant. Anyway,
You know
Karen.
what I always used to think about that film, The Fly, right? You know when he gets in the machine,
Pod.
right? The pod,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry, been corrected on my sci-fi knowledge here. But no,
Doesn't happen very often, I'm guessing.
The door, he sort of comes out, and he's a little bit like he's at that point he's man, but he's got a bit of fly in him. He
Little
hasn't
bit fly, yeah.
He hasn't. But at no point does he just go, I fancy a bit of poo. Do you know what I mean?
No, he never brings that up. And why isn't there a musical sequence where he sings "Everyone Says I'm Pretty Fly" for a white guy?
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't think. Your TV show.
I've got a TV show, yeah. Yes, it starts
based on The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
It is. That's exactly what it
Well,
is.
what a coincidence.
It's me being swatted by a selection of celebrities.
Can I come on?
You know what? There's shows like that people would watch. If it was just like celebrity swatting. Like I came up with a show once, right? And it was called Vanessa Feltz Fights a Pig, right?
Right.
And it was basically just half an hour of Vanessa in a leotard fighting a live pig, right?
Right.
And there's no like nobody votes, nobody gets voted on or off. There's no sort of there's no high concept to it. It's literally just her, not even an audience, just a barn, just an open, just an open farmyard.
No
and just-
rules.
No rules at all.
Oh.
But one of those big pigs, those massive, those big like hog things.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just Vanessa just punching it repeatedly.
Was she in a leotard
And-
or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a full, so.
She said she's in a leotard. Are you going to pay attention?
And then
I didn't.
She gets, pig in the headlock, and the pig's lying on her for a bit, and it's just and like I said,
Pig in a headlock sounds like a meal, doesn't it? It's like Toad in the hole.
Toad in the hole. But it's no audience, just like a couple of farmers just sort of leaning over a fence, just having a bit of a look, and every now and again, going, oh yeah. And the thing is that in itself, right? People are trying to work out why TV, viewing figures are dropping and stuff. If you saw that in the paper and it said Vanessa Feltz fights a pig, and that's what it was, everyone would watch it.
I imagine Vanessa Feltz is at home now, scribbling this down.
I imagine.
As fast as
She's
she
squealing.
Anyway,
With
yes.
excitement.
Anyway,
I have a TV
so there's
show.
Ross's new TV show out
No,
there.
I do have a TV show. It's on Channel. Oh, there you go.
Absolute.
Radio.
Ross was good, wasn't he?
Oh, I really liked him. He was sweet. I got a little hug as he left.
Really?
Just saying.
No, I was meaning he was funny rather than he was very touchy feeling. Yeah, exactly.
We've just had a text in that I'd like to read out, which is, do you remember we played that song "I Am Vexed" by?
No, they're called
Oh, they're
I Am Vexed.
called- I
Oh,
didn't
that's the
know
most
that.
middle-aged thing I've ever heard done.
Yeah, but who's heard of this band? Did you want my axe or I Am Vexed? Which one is it?
I Am Vexed is the band. And the
Okay.
song, yeah,
And the song's called "Did You Want My Axe?"
that's right.
Well, somebody has said, they've remained nameless. Hi, Frank. I thought this song was a posh version of The Streets. He could be known as The Driveway. Which I thought was a brilliant observation.
The driveways, yeah, I'm liking it. Yeah, the pedestrian area.
The gated road.
Is that
Yes,
Gated
the
cul-de-sac.
Gated Road actually is not a bad name for a band.
Is it a Beatles song? No.
Well, a friend of mine is starting a band at the moment, and he was saying that there's websites you can go on and they'll tell you possible new band names. But I like the Gated Road.
I thought we'd cleared that up with the Pigmen of Florentine.
Oh, of course, the Pigmen of Florentine.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I forgot to pass that on.
Well,
Let's hope someone
to
doesn't
have.
jump in on the Pigmen of Florence. That could be a Vanessa Feltz spin-off programme, couldn't it? When she tours Italy. Oh, dear. So, we move now towards the end of the show. It's been a good laugh. I love doing this. I'm actually on holiday at the moment. I'm having a staycation, but I came back because I love... To me, don't tell Absolute, but it's not really like work. Is it? Don't tell him that, because...
That's your manager laughing.
Just between you and... Yeah, that's because he knows that they do actually pay me for it. But I love it. Don't you love it?
Yeah.
We love our
it.
work.
We
And you know what
love
else
it.
we love? We love you, our beloved listeners. So thanks for listening today. And goodbye from Emily and goodbye from Gareth. And good day to you.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.